Good day, peasants. Settle in and try to keep up, though I expect nothing short of a miracle on that front. We begin in 1942. The newly formed Polish Anders army is trundling out of the Soviet Union and into Iran. Along the way, these supposed military men encounter a young Iranian shepherd boy carrying an orphaned Syrian brown bear cub. Now, a logical, civilized creature such as myself might assess the situation and leave the wild apex predator in its natural habitat. But humans? Oh no. They purchased the beast. And how did they choose to nourish this infant creature? Did they procure a proper species-appropriate diet? Of course not. They fed it condensed milk from an old vodka bottle. Quite frankly, appalling. It is a miracle the poor brute didn't perish right then and there. It is a display of such profound foolishness that it makes me long for the simple, structured logic of retro gaming. At least, a pixelated sprite behaves with a modicum of predictability, unlike your chaotic ancestors. The bear grows, and as it grows, the soldiers mold it into a reflection of their own dismal habits. They fed him fruit, honey, and syrup, a diet that would make me regurgitate a perfectly good portion of fish and chips. Worse still, they introduced the beast to beer and cigarettes. He didn't just smoke the cigarettes, you simpletons, he ate them. I would rather choke on a stale English pancake or suffer the indignity of a melted 99 cone than endure such culinary barbarism. But the pinnacle of this idiocy occurred when the 22nd Artillery Supply Company of the 2nd Polish Corps needed to board a British transport ship to Italy. The British, in a rare moment of bureaucratic stubbornness, refused to allow a mascot on board. The Polish solution? They officially drafted the bear into the military. They gave a Syrian brown bear the rank of private, complete with a service number and a paybook. A paybook. What was he going to do, nip down to the shops for a tailored uniform? Absolute rubbish. It is utterly baffling how your species has managed to survive this long. We arrive at the Battle of Monte Cassino in 1944. Here we witness the absolute zenith of human irresponsibility. Instead of utilizing, say, rudimentary physics or a basic pulley system to move artillery, the soldiers allowed Wojtek to carry 100-pound crates of live ammunition. Let me reiterate. A bear was lugging explosive shells around an active war zone. And because he managed not to drop a single crate and obliterate the entire company, the military brass decided to promote him from private to corporal. A bear outranked actual, supposedly sentient human beings. Visiting Allied generals and statesmen would actually come to gawk at Corporal Wojtek. It is a tragic comedy of the highest order. The complete lack of proper protocol is enough to make my whiskers twitch with disdain. It is a wonder your civilization hasn't simply collapsed under the weight of its own farcical decisions. Finally, we reach the dreary, pathetic conclusion of this story. After the war concluded in 1945, Wojtek and his unit were shipped off to Berwickshire, Scotland. For a brief period, he lived among the men in the local village, becoming a local curiosity. But when the army demobilized in 1947, did they grant this war hero a dignified retirement? Hardly. They dumped him in the Edinburgh Zoo. He spent the remainder of his days, until his death in 1963 at the age of 21, trapped behind bars. Former Polish soldiers would occasionally visit him, and in a display of sickening, misguided nostalgia, they would toss lit cigarettes into his enclosure for him to consume. It is a grim, dismal end to an already absurd narrative. You drag a wild animal across the Middle East, thrust him into a global conflict, poison his liver with alcohol and tobacco, and then imprison him in Scotland. The entire affair is exhausting. Recounting the profound mediocrity of human history always leaves me feeling utterly drained. I am going to retreat to my study, brew an exceedingly dark black coffee, and try to wash the stench of your species' historical blunders from my mind. Cheerio.